Hello and welcome to our training on data file submission and quality assurance process as part of our CARE Act data collection and reporting series. Let's take a look at our agenda and what we're covering today. So we're covering a few things. So a recap on our data collection and reporting procedure, and review some of the procedures we've already presented on other trainings, especially the data dictionary walkthrough. So if you haven't viewed that training, I recommend pausing and going and viewing that training before this one. We'll also the bulk of this training will focus on the data file template overview and submission procedure, and then talking about quality assurance process overview. So let's take a look at our learning objectives today. The goal is that by the end of this training, you'll have a better increased ability to be familiar with the data file template, perform bulk file uploads, which we'll talk through in a minute, and then collaborate with DHCS and HMA on the quality assurance process for CARE Act data. So let me introduce today's speakers. We're joined today by Carice Burnett and Cha Lee with Health Management Associates, and they're on the data collection reporting team to help walk you through and better understand the data process. They're analysts and researchers that have experience in data analysis and presentation and are here to support the team in getting that data in the best format. So I'm going to turn the time over to my colleagues today to walk us through that.
So before we start, we would like to provide a quick recap on detail from the previous SurveyMonkey live demo training. As we talked before, there are two options for submitting data, either through SurveyMonkey or either through the MOVEit file transfer application. The first option is SurveyMonkey, which was demoed during a live training that has been posted to the CARE Act training page, and the link is also provided in the slide and in the chat. The second option, which will be described and demoed today, is called the MOVEit file transfer application. While there are two options for data submission, every reporting quarter, county can only choose one application to submit the data. For example, in January of 2024, if County A chooses to use the MOVEit file transfer application, all the data must be uploaded through MOVEit. Next, please. County Behavioral Health Agency can use the MOVEit file transfer application to submit the CARE Act data securely. MOVEit is an existing tool used for the transfer of data used by DHCS. Technically, MOVEit is an application used for automatic file transfer of sensitive data. HMA has defined a data file template that aligns with the structure of the CARE Act data dictionary. The data file template allows users to query data from their existing data system. Pre-identified authorized user will submit this data file template through the MOVEit file transfer application. Next, please. This slide right here, it depicts the reporting period and submission schedule. Data from October 1st through December 31st is due by March 1st, 2024. We also would like to encourage early submission, so that way if there are any data issue, we can work with the county to address those data issues. County will collect data on a monthly basis and submit at least quarterly within 60 days following the close of the reporting period. County can submit the data monthly if they prefer, or they can wait until the end of the reporting quarter. The table on the right outlines the submission deadline. County must adhere to this reporting and submission schedule regardless of implementation date. This means if a county begins implementation in the middle of a reporting period, they will submit the data by the submission deadline immediately following that period. Based on the current reporting timeline, cohort 1 county are expected to submit their quarterly data by month for October through December 2023 by March 1st, 2024. And LA County is expected to submit their data for the month of December 2023 by March 1st, 2024. Now I would like to pass it off to my colleague, Chris, who will basically demo how to enter data into the data file template and then upload it using the file, the MOVEit file transfer application.
Thank you, Cha. Next slide, please. So before we talk about the data file template and the submission procedure, we want to quickly show the workflow for County CARE Act data submission. Counties will collect data on a monthly basis and submit at least quarterly within 60 days following the close of the reporting period. For each reporting month, counties will enter data into a separate data file template. Every quarter, counties should have 3 monthly data files. For the October 1st through December 31st, 2023 reporting period, LA County is expected to have 1 monthly data file for the reporting month of December 2023. Counties will submit these monthly data files via MOVEit. After submitting the monthly data files, the HMA team will be notified by MOVEit. HMA will do a quality assurance check, which Cha will discuss later in this presentation for the monthly data files within 15 business days. A quality assurance report will be generated for each monthly data file and uploaded to the same folder used for the current data submission. Every county, excluding LA County, will get 3 QA reports from HMA. The HMA data team will notify the authorized users. The QA report and QA correspondence emails will come from the HMA Data CARE Act data team at caredatateam@healthmanagement.com. For monthly data files with the status of corrections needed, counties have 15 business days to correct the data issue and resubmit those monthly data files via MOVEit file transfer application. We will discuss the process for resubmissions in this session. The HMA data team will then restart the quality assurance process summarized in the purple box again. For the monthly data files with the status of accepted, no further action will be required. Our data team will help with any data issues. Counties are encouraged to request technical assistance related to any requested corrections by filling out the request CARE Act Data Collection and Reporting Assistance Form. Next slide, please. Cohort 1 and LA counties provided HMA the pre-identified designated users within their county who will be using MOVEit. Authorized county users will receive an invitation for the MOVEit file transfer application. Only authorized users may perform bulk file uploads of care participant data using the MOVEit file transfer application. The data file template will be in the resource folder for counties to download. If there are access issues or other delays, HMA can share the data file template with authorized MOVEit users via email temporarily. The email invite would have come from Microsoft Invitations on behalf of California Department of Healthcare Services with the subject line, someone's name, Cloud Global Admin, invited you to access applications within their organization. DHCS may modify these messages in the future. Please let us know if you do not have access. Once you have received an email, you will want to register your account. If the authorized users have not registered with DHCS before, they will be asked to register with a Microsoft Outlook account. Most authorized users should already have a Microsoft Outlook account, and if not, they will be asked to create one. Once registered, counties will be able to go inside the portal and locate the file transfer application. When you open the application, you will find the folders on the left side panel. Click on those folders and you will see a folder named DHCS CARE Act, and that folder will have your county folder. For any new user requests or changes to the authorized users, please submit those requests to the HMA data team, caredatateam@healthmanagement.com. Once you received your invitation or access, if you cannot see your folder or have additional issues, please contact the DHCS help desk at the email provided or use the phone number. They are available Monday through Friday from 7:30 a.m. to 5:30 p.m. Next slide, please. Today, we will do a demo of the data file template for the counties. Before we do that, we think it is helpful to review this high-level data collection flowchart again. It shows how 3.3.10 current care status determines further data collection and reporting. The logic built into both the SurveyMonkey platform and the data file template is based on this flowchart. The full flowchart has been provided as a resource in PDF form on the CARE Act website. You can download the full flowchart directly in the resource library, on the training page, or using the link above. The full flowchart will detail all the required data points based on the current care status. From the flowchart, basic client information and demographic information will be required for all care respondents that flow through county behavioral health, regardless of whether they end up receiving behavioral health services. Once the court has made a determination about the disposition of each care petition, county behavioral health will be asked to report on the care status at the individual level. In the basic client information section of the data dictionary, it is 3.3.10 current care status. There are a number of options and a client's care status could change over time. Each potential care status is shown in the flowchart. You can see if additional data collection and reporting will be required depending on which care status is chosen. You will see that not all data points are going to be required for all clients. For clients who are ineligible for care or those who do not end up receiving county behavioral health services, please note that these clients will not be tracked further by county behavioral health after counties provide their dates of dismissal from care court. The flowchart here also states this information. Now we will transition to a live demonstration showing how to enter data into the data file template. Slide, please. Next, we'll be switching to the live demo of the data file template. During this portion, we will visually display the data file template, summary data tabs, and necessary data points. We will demonstrate how to upload the data via the MOVEit file transfer application, and then we will explain the next steps and expectations after uploading the data. Here, I wanted to show you the data file template and give an example of what to expect when you are inputting the data points. So I will share my screen. All right, can you see my screen? Perfect. All right, so I wanted to give you a demo of what to expect when you're working with the data file template. So this first sheet here, we have the welcome sheet, and this includes all the instructions needed to fill this out so that you can reference that while you're filling it out. At the bottom, there are links for our data dictionary. So it's always helpful to have the data dictionary and the flowchart open at the same time so that you're able to follow along with each data point as you're inputting data. The next sheet here, we have summary data. So this is what counties will use to input the total number of clients by care status in the reporting month. This is very important because this will help HMA on the back end count for each client and also look for duplicates. We will be checking our numbers with these numbers after we're finished collecting the data. For this example, I wanted to show you the care process initiation period. As you can see, each care status is indicated on their own sheet. Columns A through BM are the same for each status, and that's going over the demographics of each client. So you will need to input that data. For the care process initiation period, I really just wanted to show you the conditional formatting in here and how if you input a data point, it will trigger other columns to highlight blue or orange. Blue and orange fields do indicate a necessary data point. For this example, I will input a data point here. So this date will always be the last day of the month. If we go through to column BM, we can see that here we have highlighted yellow. So this is where you're going to input that care status. And this one is the care process initiation period. When I put that in that cell, I use the drop down, the following cells turn blue, and that indicates a necessary data point. Moving forward, if we were to, there are questions in here that involve multiple selections. So I wanted to show you what that looks like. For example, when we're looking at, did the client elect, change, or remove a volunteer supporter in the reporting month? So there's a few options for this one. 1 equals yes, 0 equals no, and 9999 equals unknown. So if we select 1 here, that means yes. You'll see that column CQ or data point 3.11.2, if the client elected or changed volunteer supporter in the reporting month, what was the relationship of the most recent volunteer supporter to the client? There are more options on this one that are applicable to this answer. So 1 would be family, 2 is faith leader, 3 is professional peer specialist, 4 is friend, 5 is advocate, 99903 is other, and 9999 is unknown. So if we select 999903 other, that will trigger the other column to turn orange, and this is a text field, so it's open-ended question, and you would just type in your answer here. Moving on, if we look at 3.11.3, same logic. If we selected other here, that would indicate that you need to fill out this other question. You follow this along all the way to the end and input all those data points. When you're finished, you will want to save this to your DHCS environment. And once you have saved that, you are able to upload that to the file transfer application. So when you log into your DHCS portal, you should see the file transfer application. It looks like this. When you click on that, it'll open up a new window. And on the left-hand side, you will see home, folders, and logs. When you click on folders, you should see the DHCS Care Act folder here. When you click on that folder, you will see the county that you represent. I see all these counties, but you should see your county. So for example, if you represent Alameda County, you will see Alameda County folder and a resource folder. This resource folder, as mentioned before, includes the SQL code, the QA report, and this data file template. So that's where you will go to get your file template to work with. Within each county folder, there are year folders, and within each of those year folders, there are quarter folders. So you're going to want to navigate to the folder that applies to the reporting period. So for Q1, that's data from January through March. And to upload that data, you're going to click on the folder. You'll go to Upload Files here on the right-hand side. You can drag and drop or you can browse, navigate to your file that has been filled out, click open and upload. When you see that the file has been uploaded to the folder, then you are finished. It is important to note that counties must report on all active clients, even if they had no contact during the reporting month. So it's still important that we have data points for that client. That is it for the live demo. So now I'll pass it back to Chet.
Quality assurance process overview. Next, please. Again, as a quick recap, the county data file template, the judicial council data file template, the care quality assurance protocol, and the SQL query for quality assurance. All of those material can be found in the resources folder within the MOVEit file transfer application for all authorized users. At the moment, the SQL query is not available yet, but when it is available, authorized user can get the query file from the resources folder. Next, please. Naming convention. So this slide right here, it depicts the data submission procedure. Following the report timeline, county will submit data quarterly in monthly batches. Please use the following naming convention. For initial submission, we want the county to basically use the name of the county, month and year of the reporting month. Month gonna be corresponding to the reporting month, year gonna be corresponding to the reporting year. County names with spaces, they can choose to include a space or not. So as an example right here, right, Orange County, if they submit data for January 2024, all they have to do is what? Put their name and then underscore and then what? January and 2024. So that will be for the initial submission. But if the file actually has data issue and Orange County need to resubmit that data back to DSCS, we want all county to use the resubmission naming convention. So it is going to be the name of the county, month and year of the reporting month, resubmission, and then date of the resubmission. If Orange County resubmitted the data on February 15, then technically what they would do is that they will put the name of their county, underscore, month and year of the reporting month, underscore, resubmission, underscore, and then the date of the resubmission, which is February 15, 2024. And as a very important note, any resubmission for county submitted the data through SurveyMonkey will be done through the MOVEit file transfer application. For this county, the HMA team, for us, we're gonna upload the monthly data file through the MOVEit file transfer application. This county, then they will go in there and then download the data to make correction. After they address all the data issue, they will basically use the resubmission naming convention to change the name and then use the MOVEit file transfer application to upload the data back to DSCS. Next, please. Card dimensions. For quality assurance or QA, we will basically follow the card dimension that has been used by the SCS for the managed care plan. These are industry standard QA dimensions. So for us at HMA, we will look for completeness, accuracy, reasonability, and timeliness for submitted data, whether the data is coming from SurveyMonkey or it is being uploaded through the MOVEit file transfer application. Completeness. So what we will do is that we will check for missing, surplus, and duplicate data. Accuracy. We will check for typo and questionable record. Reasonability. We will check if the individual data are valid and the data set taken as a whole is plausible. Timeliness. We will check for timely submission of the data. Again, as a note, the card dimension will be applied to all submitted data, whether it is through SurveyMonkey or coming from the MOVEit file transfer application. Next, please. HMA has a quality assurance checklist with 13 elements. This QA checklist follows the card matrix. Authorized user will be able to download the QA report per monthly data file from the MOVEit file transfer application, which summarize their county result and tell them if this monthly data file passes all 13 elements. The monthly data file must pass all 13 elements. Any deficiency must be resubmitted within 15 business days of receiving the QA report. Next, please. The QA report will be dropped into the MOVEit file transfer application for authorized user for each county to download and review. The HMA team will also send out an email to let all authorized users know that their county QA report are ready for download and review. When authorized user open a specific QA report for a specific monthly data file, they will see an Excel document with tabs, including the summary tab, the history log tab, the QA checklist tab, as well as tab A through tab G. The summary tab includes the overall status of the submitted data. As you can see on the picture on the left, it is accepted, or the picture on the right, you can see the status overall, it is what correction needed. If the status is accepted, like the picture on the left, that means that the submitted data for that specific monthly data file are all set. However, if the status is corrections needed, that means that there are data issue in the data file, and the county will need to correct those data issue. We will look at the QA checklist, and then we're gonna talk about each of the 13 elements in the next few slides. Next, please. Yeah. Naming convention. So first, we will basically check to make sure that the right naming convention was used. Element 1, the name must adhere to the correct naming convention format. If it is initial submission, it must be the name of the county, and then what? The month and the year of the reporting month. And for any resubmission, it is going to be what? The name of the county, name, the month and the year of the reporting month, resubmission, and then the date of the resubmission. It must follow those naming convention. Next, please. Completeness. So we will basically, now we're going to go into each of the monthly data file. We will check for completeness of the data. Element 2 and then element 3 fall under completeness. Element 2, we will basically check for missing data. We will verify that all required data points corresponding to the client case status are submitted and have a response. When the answer to a question is unknown, the unknown option must be selected. So that means that every data point, county cannot just leave it blank. Yeah, even if they don't have an answer to it, they can select the option unknown. Element 3, we will look for duplication and surplus of the record. For each reporting month, we will verify that the care client are not being reported more than once per care status. If we see that it is being reported twice, we're going to be reaching out to the county. Next, please. Accuracy and validity. So next, we're basically going to look for accuracy or validity of the data. Element 4 to element 8 fall under accuracy. Element 4, for each variable that allow a text response, we're gonna be checking for spelling, and we're gonna be checking to see if the response actually using any forbidden character. If there are any, we're gonna be asking the county to fix that. Element 5 for existing client, and this is very important to us on the back end. We will verify that the basic client and the demographic information are accurate. So basically, if they are accurate, right, we should be able to link like those new record to the previous submitted record. If we cannot do that, we're going to be reaching out to the county. Element 6, we will do a validity check on all submitted data point. The reported value must adhere to the value code defined in the care data dictionary, and they must not be out of range. Like, for example, like the county data point, right? It can only be 1 through 58. If we see anything outside of that range, we're going to be reaching back to the county. Yeah. Element 7, we will basically compare the total of care plan and care agreement between JC and the county. The number must match. If we found inconsistent, either if it is coming from JC, then we're going to be reaching out to JC. If it is coming from the county, then we're going to be reaching out to the county. Element 8, we will do a summary count of records submitted. And this is the summary tab that Chris mentioned earlier. Our number, the one that we calculate on the back end, it must match the summary number reported by the county. If there are any like missing record or we have extra record, we're going to be reaching out to the county, to address that. Next, please. Reasonableness. We will check for reasonableness of the data. Element 9 through element 12 fall under this category. So element 9, basically what we do is that we will verify that the current care status of each existing client align with the sequence of the care court process. For example, if client A care status was reported as active care agreement in the prior reporting month, client A care status in the following reporting month cannot be care process initiation, cannot be dismissed, cannot be elected client, or cannot be care plan. Yeah. Like technically, like if you are reported to be on the care agreement in the prior month, that means that you cannot go back and then use the previous care status. And also you cannot change care status, like suddenly you are in active care plan. Like if we found issue like that, we're gonna be reaching out to the county and asking them to fix it. Element 10, this one we basically gonna look at all the date variable, and then we're gonna check for reasonableness. For example, like if we take the date of graduation, right? If we look at that date cannot be earlier than the date of investigation. Yeah. If we find issue like that, we're also going to be reaching out back to the county. Element 11, this one we will basically compare the cumulative number of care client from the county to the total of petition dismissed from the judicial council. The cumulative number of care client cannot exceed the total of petition dismissed. Yeah. Element 12, for every reporting month, we're also going to be looking at our Power BI report. And if we see any like outlier, we're also going to be reaching out to like the county and asking them to like look into the data and also help us address the issue. Next, please. The next one, timeliness. So element 13, this one, we just want everyone to submit the data on time according to like the like timetable that we mentioned earlier on the recap section. Yeah, so we want everyone to submit the data on time. Next, please. QA tab A to tab G. For each care status from tab A through tab G, the HMA team will basically validate each data point. So how are we gonna do that? Basically, we're gonna do like a couple check. Like we're gonna check for what completeness or missing. We're gonna do that check, and then we're gonna basically look at accuracy and validity of that data point. And after that, we're gonna see, all right, does this data point make sense? Yeah, so we're gonna be doing those validation. The table showing on the right is actually from tab B for the dismissal care status. As you can see, right, we're going to go through each of those data points. When a data point has no deficient quality issues, it will basically receive a pass. Yeah, so it's going to turn green and receive a pass. And for us to help county like basically address their own QA process, the team will also gonna provide the SQL query used to identify potential data quality issues. County can basically use a part of the SQL query to help them like identify any quality issue in their own data sources and then correct them before submitting the data back to DHCS. Next, please. Resubmission guideline. County will basically receive a QA report per monthly data file within 15 business days of the initial submission date. County are expected to correct all data issues outlined in the QA report. Detailed information on deficiency will be included in tab A through tab G of the QA report. Everything the HMA team gonna report it at the patient level. So for every patient, the county gonna know exactly what's wrong with the data point, and then they can fix those data point. Yeah. Once county receive the QA report, they have 15 business days to like correct the deficient data and then resubmit their monthly data file back to the DHCS. Resubmitted data file will use the naming convention that we mentioned earlier for resubmission, and we'll upload like the file back using like the MOVEit file transfer application. Yeah, we want county to like use the same folder location for the initial data submission. And now I would like to hand the presentation back to Patricia to overview the upcoming TA opportunity and then open things up for question.
Thank you, Cha and Chris, for sharing that information about how to input data and walking us through this process. Before we end today, I wanted to highlight some of those resources that we mentioned earlier. So we have data collection FAQs posted on our CARE Act Resource Center. We continue to update those with new questions that come in specifically related to data. We also have the data dictionary county data flowchart and the data dictionary summary table. And then we also link to the BHIN and the data dictionary on our website. And again, if you haven't viewed the training on the data dictionary walkthrough, please consult that. Please consult that training, and it'll give you more context for what Carice and Cha just presented on. Where to go for questions. So a few next steps for you. First off, if you haven't already, we'd like to share information relevant to you to ensure that you receive the data collection and reporting specific communication. Please email that email address on who should receive notice of different data related technical assistance opportunities, and make sure to include names, titles, and emails so we can make sure everyone's included on our data specific information. Cha mentioned where you can go with questions. There are a few places. So we have that info@careact.org email, but specifically we have, you see on this slide here listed, the care data team at healthmanagement.com. And that will, that email address is monitored by our data team, and they can respond to any questions that you have. And then also you have the ability to answer or to submit TA questions. So there's a form we link, it's on our website, the CARE Act Resource Center, and also you can click that link in the slides, in the PDF of the slides to go there. And then just to close out, again, if you have any final questions, please go to our website. We have a lot of materials on there, past trainings, and there is no wrong door. So you could go to that care data team at healthmanagement.com if you need specific help. And then we have a screenshot on the slide about where to get that TTA request form on the CARE Act Resource Center. And if you go to the contact drop down, it's there under data collection and reporting assistance. Thank you all for viewing our training, and we look forward to working with you, and let us know if you have any questions.